Hey everyone, so this is my quote link module, for 3 and 4, chapters 3 and 4. So my first for chapter 3, uh, I just picked one, if people are receiving your verbal messages, have experience with the topic you're communicating about, chances are they will interpret your message on a connotative level, which they would understand. But to me, what I think the author was trying to say is, first of all, you must know what you're talking about. Even when you do, that doesn't express a fact or the fact that your audience is going to understand. For example, the communications class. Most of us, we obviously don't have a clue. It seems, how to communicate in society. Using media. Everyone's always on their phone. You don't say hello to people on the bus. So I think, we may have to practice more than what we do. And in reflection of the quote and why it's important, I think the phrase in the 3-1 section is important because no one knows everything. Yeah, you could have a doctorate in a field and some will still think of you as a fool just because your jargon has made it almost impossible to understand. So, the second quote for the chapter 3, I chose, rather than saying you have an attitude problem, which will only provoke defensiveness, try describing what you will see and hear the other person doing insane. So try describing what you see and hear the other person doing insane. It's basically like paraphrasing, coming back and saying, okay, this is what I think you understand. And what I feel like what the author was trying to say is, in my opinion, he's saying don't suggest to others that someone is protesting your message, but understand why you get the same response again and again. Maybe you hit and miss with your audience, but take time to reflect on what the others are even trying to say and try to come to a resolve. Okay, and then I've got like 20 minutes here to finish this up. My chapter 4 stuff. Oh wait, okay. In reflection of that quote, um, uh, I wrote a small note. It's important and should impact everyone you deal with, because no one is perfect, and to think whatever you write, say, or do, or how it should be done, you know, is the way. Like maybe going back and learning more can have an impact on the others you communicate with. And then my chapter 4 first quote: our ability to listen and respond thoughtfully to others' questions before, during, or and after the presentation allows us to continue to clarify our message and persuading and influencing others, which, I mean, yes, you need to thoughtfully respond, just like we have to do our VAPs and all that. But when you're listening and then going to respond, I feel like the author's, to me, is saying, it is what it is, right? How can we ever know if someone is truly going to understand you or even respond if they feel like intimidated or overwhelmed by a directive message, or they don't feel like you're have an understanding of what they're there for or something, so just like the authors, I think, may be saying like constantly gauge your message to suit a uninformed community. And in reflection, it's just important to me, just to understand we do not know it all, never will, and why should we have to know it all? And I feel like persuasion to me is illness. Like, why should we have to persuade others to hear our message? And like, why is this, to me, like, why is it such a battle to get the most likes or get people to really see your message and be like, yeah, woohoo, I don't know. Why should we have to persuade another to our message? Let my people go. The second, and like, okay, so the second quote for my chapter 4, um, I, I had a difficult time. There was so much good stuff, like, in these last two chapters. A lot of them went back to the nonverbal and the verbal cues that you send others. And I felt like really pressured to even find one. It took me all night. And the one I chose, nothing fancy. I chose, geez, the 4-2 section maybe. Um, The process of social decentering requires mindfulness or conscious awareness, which is often difficult to achieve in a fast-paced and deadline-driven workplace. I feel like that goes for even schooling. Like, it requires like a mindfulness of like, wow, okay, here's my agenda, here's what people are gonna do, like. And if it's not getting across, like I think some of us experienced, I'm not saying it's not right. We are being challenged, I think, in this class, and it's very important. But I think what the author meant with that statement is, in my opinion, I think what the author is saying is overwhelming your audience with one's ideas and concepts into like something which they don't understand, and you're not seeing it, or you don't have an idea, they're confused, maybe they're not communicating. It may require one to realize or even question what I am really doing or conveying. So, I mean, the author's just, I think saying really, open your eyes, have that conscious awareness of what's going on within your message. The reflection, I just feel it's important. Uh, and to achieve understanding before you lose an audience's confidence or attention, I think is probably one of the biggest things that like a leader or speaker, you watch these people on TED Talks speak, so you got to get it across, and just understand, if they're not getting it, man, you got to go back. I mean, so that's it. I think my video took way too long. Sorry, guys. Peace.